Record. Okay, so I just wanted to welcome everybody to today's presentation. Just a couple of housekeeping things as we get started. If you wanted to just put yourselves on mute until the presentation, during the presentation, and then you're more than welcome to ask any questions that you might have. You could either text chat them and I could let Carol know that they're there, or if you wanted to ask, you're more than welcome to, and you can unmute yourself and you can ask the questions. So I'm just going to do a brief introduction here. So Carol is the founder of Carol Roderick Digital. She is a certified elite ad manager, former academic and award-winning educator. Carol offers a range of services, courses, and coaching for women who want to get started with advertising on Facebook and Instagram, as well as premium done-for-you ad services for established businesses who are ready to scale. She has profitably managed more than $500,000 in ad spend since starting her business a little over a year ago. She is the mom of two super energetic girls under 5 years old. So I just wanted to welcome Carol Roderick.
Like I'm off mute. Okay, thank you very much. And it's so great to see some familiar faces. I have two screens going, so if you see me looking over here, that's where everybody's faces are, but I will share the presentation on the slides. So thanks. I really appreciate you guys coming out. This is fun for me to share what I'm up to and to share one of my passions with you and hopefully get you excited about Facebook ads as well. I discovered, okay, my screen should be, well, is my the right, it's not, don't think the right screen is sharing. Is it, can you see my presentation?
No, not right now. We're back to.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so you've got the slides, perfect. Okay, so I'm really excited to share with you a little bit about Facebook ads and how you can grow your business with a minimal budget, because that's what many of us as entrepreneurs, when we're starting off, are working with. I got into ads, trying to grow my own coaching business. And when I discovered ads, I was like, I love this and it's fun. And I haven't looked back. All right, now I need to get the slides to actually move. Okay, whoops. Okay, why is that not moving? Okay, give me a second. Okay, so let's get started. And I'm having a hard time with this.
Carol, is it easier if, oh, okay, you got it?
Oh, there we go. Okay, I have to use my mouse. Okay, so why advertise on Facebook? And when you advertise on Facebook, you're also reaching Instagram as well as a whole lot of apps as well that are known as the audience network. So there are 4.5 almost people on social media worldwide, and that is twice what it was in 2015. So it's growing really fast. Almost 80% of people are willing to buy from a brand after they've had a good experience with them on social media. And although there's so many people on there, which we think is great, organic, like having a Facebook page and an Instagram page is often not enough because it's crowded, which means that only about 1 in 19 people, if you're just posting organic content on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, will see your post. So that's often not enough. In Canada, there's a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram. About 80% of the Canadians have an account. There's one, this is globally 1.93 billion active users in the last quarter of last year, daily active users. And surprisingly, because people will say, well, Facebook is not something for a younger demographic. The largest demographic of users on Facebook and Instagram is between 25 and 35 years old. I find surprising. So when we go, why Facebook? How does it compare to other forms of advertising? Now, most of us are not going to be buying ads for the Super Bowl right now, but we can compare the cost. So if you were to advertise in the 2020 Super Bowl, a 30-second TV ad would cost $5.6 million and would be seen by almost 100 million people. If you do the math through that, the cost to reach 1,000 people is about $56. That's a lot of money. The problem with advertising and commercials and that kind of thing on TV is there's no targeting. So you're just going to be reaching anybody who happens to have the Super Bowl on, regardless of whether they're interested or have shown any interest in what it is that you're offering. And you're not getting much data back. You don't know who actually saw the ad. And there's no way to continue to market to people who have seen that ad and engaged with it. And if you compare that to Facebook, and this is a number that I actually just pulled from my own ads the other day, it is to reach 1,000 people, just $3. So much less. And it's not always $3. I've also had it cost $1 to reach 1,000 people. It just depends on how you set up your ads and who you're trying to reach and how competitive the space is at that time. But it's much less than other forms of media. So it's really cost effective. Other benefits is you can target people. So you can get an ad out to people based on things they're interested in, where they live. And I was thinking here of Ontario, you could zone in on people within a certain radius. Say you are a naturopath and you want to market to people who live so many kilometers of your practice, you can absolutely do that. Or if you want to market to moms in Ontario with kids under 6 who shop at Old Navy, you can do that, which is really neat. You can also upload lists of customers that you have so you can get back in front of them. And you can also create what they call lookalike audiences. So that's to have Facebook locate people who are similar to your best customers. And as you'll see as we go through this, you can re-engage with people who show an interest. So for example, if you have a group of people who watch a video that you've put out, you can divide them into segments based on how much of the video they've watched and then follow up with them with other ads. Now, you never find out exactly who a person is. It's not like, I know I'm getting this ad out to Jane Doe who lives down the street, but in groups collaboratively, you know that you're getting an ad out to a certain portion of your audience. And as I said earlier, you also reach people on Instagram and Audience Network, which is a whole suite of apps. Basically, this is my perspective. I mean, there you can do Google ads as well. The costs can be comparable. This is often better. With Google ads, you do have to, it depends on, people need to be searching for you. So typing in something and then you respond to that. But no other marketing method really compares to the results and the data that Facebook ad campaigns can bring. And that's sort of a take-home point I'd like to make sure that you leave with today. It's like a great venue for entrepreneurs. Before you get started, there's no sense, a lot of people want to start and get out there and get an ad out right away, but you want to make sure you're well set up so you're making the most of your advertising dollars. You want to make sure that you have a Facebook business page and are active on Instagram. You don't necessarily have to be active on both, but that you have something. And by active, I don't mean you're posting every single day, but that it hasn't been months since you've last posted and shared with your following. You want to install the Pixel on your website. The Pixel, I like to think of it as almost like a phone line or a cell phone. You're getting your cell phone number. It's what you use. It communicates between your website and Facebook. So Facebook is able to get data back when you install it in your page about who the people are that are going to your website and taking action. So that allows them to find more people like that for you. And like everything else, you really want to know your ideal client, your avatar really, really well, and find out what is it they're interested in, where are they hanging out that nobody else is. I have a little anecdote here. When I was doing dating coaching, I was going, okay, I need to attract women who have money to spend on a dating coach. So I figured, okay, well, they might be shopping at places like Lululemon and that kind of thing, but I didn't have very much success with my ads. When I was going, okay, where are they that nobody else was? I then started targeting dating apps. So Plenty of Fish, Tinder, that kind of thing. And that, of course, it's like, it's no brainer. It's much easier to reach the ideal client when you really know where they are that nobody else is. I also recommend really having a proven offer, having sold what it is that you are offering, whether it's a product, course, or service, before putting money into paid advertising, because if it doesn't work, you're just wasting your money. And then try to collect ahead of time written testimonials, video testimonials. They are really, really, really effective, can be helpful as ads themselves. They make great ads to bring people back. We often will take action based on feedback from others, or we turn to our friends to see, oh, how was that for you? If it was good, then we will be more likely to take action. Have a clear goal, know exactly what you want to do with your advertising, whether it's building a following, your list, getting sales, booking calls, appointments. It all depends on your business type and what you're trying to do and your goals. And then make sure you've set up, get all the pieces that you need in place. So like there's a lot of work that's involved in setting up your business manager, and that's the first step, your ad account, audiences, ad copy, ad creative. If you don't yet have a business manager account, this is the first step to getting started with advertising on Facebook. Essentially what you do is you want to go to this website, business.facebook.com, create your account, and then there's going to be a series of steps. You might be prompted to log on to Facebook, and then you just keep entering in your information, and you can set up your ad account, and then you'll see how it all works. I'm not going to get too much in detail about this, but that's the next step. Once you're in, how it works is you have, I like to think of it as a series of nesting dolls. We focus on really like the ad, right? We see an ad in our news feed. Those ads live inside ad sets, and those ad sets are all like, who are the audiences that you want to get your ads out to? The ad sets live inside campaigns. The campaigns are inside an ad account, and your ad account is in a business manager or business suite. Now, Facebook is changing things now. I shouldn't even call it Facebook. I should be calling it Meta. But depending on which, like where you are, they roll out things at different times. So some people have something called business manager. Other people, it's called business suite. It really is the same thing. In there as well is different settings that you can adjust, where you build out your audiences, and event manager. And that the event manager is where you deal with the pixel. So some of this is a little technical, but that's exactly what you find there. It's just a quick overview. What I'm really excited to share with you is this strategy about how you can get going with like $10 a day. And we like to call it Famous by Friday, because what it does for you is it gives people who are seeing your ads the sense that you're a real bigwig in your area, and you're doing this for just $10 a day. So what does this do, and how do you do it? What you're doing is you're building a captive audience on Facebook and Instagram, and all of it starts with one video. And this is something that's simple. You can record it on your phone, or you can make it in Canva. You can even take images of yourself and put them together as a slideshow and build it right in Facebook, like in the ads manager. And then what you do is people who watch at least 15 seconds of this video are then going to keep seeing you in their news feed every few days. And you can adjust the length of time that they see you there, whether it's the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So why would you want to do this? When you see ads on Facebook or Instagram, people typically don't want to buy the first time they see something. They need to get to know you and to get to know your business. It typically takes at least 7 interactions before somebody is willing to purchase. So this strategy allows people to get to know you, to like you, and to trust you, all without having to be on social media all the time, because it's a lot of work to be posting and going live regularly. This is something else you can have in the background that just runs on autopilot once you've got it set up. It's cost effective, which is pretty cool. It costs really just a few pennies to have somebody new enter your world, or the group of people that are then in your world or in your community. You are regularly showing up in their newsfeed. It's really easy as somebody who's new to this to set up the ads and to see how they're doing. And it builds a really good audience for you of people who know your brand. And when people know you, they are more likely to convert and buy from you, and it's a lower cost to sell to them. So this is what it looks like. We like to use the words top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel. Essentially, when people start and they don't know you yet, they're out in the world, they're entering into your funnel at the top. And then as they get to know you, they're coming down your funnel and going along the customer journey. So over here, we have the 2 blue squares and 2 orange squares. The blue refers to audiences who are cold, people who don't know you yet. The orange are people who already have interacted with your business in some way. So essentially what we're doing is we're reaching out to them on Facebook and Instagram, and then they're coming in. They're watching. The square represents, I guess, it's the 4 squares is one video. And then they're going to, after they see that, they're going to move over and be exposed to what's in the 3 green circles going across over time. So you'll see that a few times in the next few slides. So on day 1, they watch a video that you have going out there. And if they watch 15 seconds or more of the video, they are then provided with ads that are in this green campaign that runs from days 1 to days 30, based on when people watch that first 15 seconds. And then from days 30 to 60, they're shown different ads, and then 60 to 90 other ads. This is a little technical, but what kind of campaigns do you use? If you're already on Facebook, you may be and doing ads, you'll be familiar with this. You want to use an engagement campaign and a video view campaign. This is just because you're wanting people to engage with your ad and to view your video. You're not trying at this point in time to sell them anything. And then you follow this up with reach or awareness campaigns. And that's just getting in front of them again. Where do you put your $10? You want to put about 60% of that $10, so like $6 or so, at the top of the funnel. So you're bringing people in, new people in, and then the other campaigns that you're running, the reach campaigns, don't need that much. If we were in the States and we were talking US dollars, we could actually do $1 a day. Here in Canada, the minimum you can spend on Facebook for a campaign is $1.30 a day. So people are entering in over here and with the engagement campaign and video view campaign, which is one video. If they watch 15 seconds of it, then they're moving over, and then they're going to get into the rest of this. And if you have questions about this, just let me know and we can always go back. So here you get your ads out to people who are either based on the interests that they have, or whoever you define as an audience, you're reaching out to them. And then just to make it clear, all the audiences are determined based on who watches this first 15 seconds of video. So if they've watched at least 15 seconds of the video in the last 30 days, they see this ad or series of ads. Then after 30 days, you say, okay, who's watched that first video in the last 60 days, but you're subtracting or excluding the people who watched it in the last 30 days. And the same thing with this 90-day ad set here. You're going, okay, 90 days, and we're going to exclude everybody who's watched the video in the last 60 days. So people aren't seeing the same ads from you over time, but it's switching out. And then you also want to change the frequency. And the frequency is how often somebody will see your ad. So you can set that, and it's easy, really easy to do that, to 1 in 5. So people will see an ad from you once every 5 days over that 30-day period, and then over that 30 to 60-day period and 60 to 90-day period. So you're not getting, annoying in there all the time, but you're there. I've had people, I don't know if there's anybody on this call who've said to me, but some people have said it to me, Carol, I visited your website and now I keep seeing you in my newsfeed all the time. You must really know what you're doing. And I'm like, wow, okay, I'm really spending just $10 a day to get that to happen. It is that easy, and it's set up once and then pretty much on autopilot. I check it once in a while to make sure it's performing well, but then it just works. And so people get to know me. How do you know it's working? What we're looking for is a cost per through play of 15 seconds, or sorry, that's a cost per through play of less than 6 cents. That's considered good. So if it costs less than 6 cents for somebody to watch 15 seconds of your video, you're good to go. It usually will start off a bit higher, but then it'll drop. I find with myself and with clients, it can cost as little as a penny, 3 cents. If something costs more than 3 cents, I go, oh, okay, like I will keep watching that. But you can get people watching and then entering your world for just really pennies a day. And the same thing for the post engagement. You really just want to watch how the ad, that video at the top of the funnel, is performing. The ads later where you're spending $1.30 per day and it's just going through, there's not too much to pay attention to there. The most important thing is how you get those people in your funnel and exposed to you at the front end. Okay. That was a lot of technical stuff. I'm now going to switch over to something that's really fun. When people first think about ads, we always think about what is the video or image that we're going to use, as well as the copy. What is the text we're putting out there? So I'm going to give you a few tips and suggestions to help with creating images and videos and copy that work and literally stop the scroll, have people pause in their newsfeed. So most people don't go to social media to shop. Ads can be annoying. They go there to hang out, connect, and share. And when we can get that, when we really allow that to sink in, it makes a huge difference in how we go about preparing ads and having them be effective. When I refer to creative, I'm talking about the images or video, and then ad copy is the text that goes along with it. The trick to writing really good copy is to write bad copy first and then fix it up. Allow yourself to make mistakes and just put it out there and see how people respond. There are a few things that you want to do for sure. These are things that will make or break your ad, and also highlight big mistakes that can get you into trouble. First rule, you don't want to look like an ad because people don't like ads often. I do enjoy seeing ads, but that's a whole different perspective because I'm going in and looking at them in a very different way. But you want to write what you're posting out there in as normal, like just as you would post on your news feed, because that's engaging and that's what people are used to seeing. Here, when you're doing an ad, you want to just go for the click. The main job of the ad is to get somebody over to your sales page, your landing page, or your website, not to actually do the sale on Facebook. You just want to get them to the next step. So it's engage enough, give them enough information, and have them go further along in their journey. Rule number 3 is to write about the benefits, not the features. So you want to talk about the difference it's going to make to people's lives. So here I just put an example of some apples. Although it may be interesting about how many calories are in it, what really is going to sell is the difference it makes to people. So it's so sweet, it's going to satisfy your sweet tooth, guilt-free. That is much more appealing than how many grams of fat or carbs an apple has in it. I see this a lot. I wrote here, give up finding the winner. A lot of people will try to find like one ad that works. That's rarely the case. What we need to do is really have a couple of versions of ad copy, a few images, a few videos that work well and meet kind of these that are good enough because they're going to appeal to different people. When we try to put all our eggs in one basket or find like one ad that performs really well, that will often fatigue really quickly because we're running out of the people who find, who that ad appeals to. And this is really, really important. Facebook, because they've been involved with a number of scandals in the past, and they want people who are on their platform to have a positive experience. When you're advertising, you really need to think about the experience you're creating for the person seeing your ad. You want them to feel good, so they want to stay on the platform. It'll give you, it's much cheaper. Facebook will give you much cheaper cost to get your ads out in front of people, or charge you much less to get your ads out when you keep this in mind. So you don't want to say things like, are you single, or are you trying to lose weight? You really want to follow Facebook ad policies and community standards. So you want to, if you think, okay, I just want to make people have a really positive experience, that works. So rather than saying, if you are in the weight loss area, you might want to say something like, use a quote from a first person perspective about the difference something has made, a program has made for somebody, rather than calling somebody out and asking them or saying that, because it gets creepy too. You think, oh, how are they tracking me? How do they know I'm trying to lose weight? Ad copy, it's not as important as you think. The length is not important. Try a variety. You don't have to be a professional copywriter. Just write in a natural, normal tone. Be really careful with Facebook ad policy. And you really want to pay attention to your headline, which is the first thing people tend to see. Is they look at the image and then they read the text that is right beside. Often there's a button like learn more. That text there, those few words are super important. And then the first sentence of your ad copy at the top. If you've got those down well, people will tend to read the rest of it. And this is a neat trick too, I wanted to share with you. We want to notice how the copy and the text looks. You want to make it really easy to read, so pay attention to the white space as well. And what you can do is turn your ad sideways, or look at it sideways. And what you're going for here is peaks and valleys. So like mountains and valleys with lots of white space in between. That will make it easier for people to read and people to be much more likely to engage. When it comes to the creative, so images and video, a lot of people will just go, it's almost like an afterthought. Okay, I've got this text, I've worked really hard on it, I've got the copy there. But the images and videos are equally, if not more important. About 65% of the population are visual learners, and we process visual information much, much faster than we do text. So you need to put as much thought into the images and video as you do the text that you're writing. You don't want to just use nice stock photos, although sometimes that can be really effective. You really need to think about who are your clients, what are their pain points. You want to match their style, vibe, energy, and what would appeal to them. And then I find this is the most effective tip that I like to give people and that I've heard, is that you want the visual to really represent the hook or the headline or opening sentence of your ad copy. So here's a good one. Here, this ad is about how to deal with heel pain, but you get that just from quickly looking at the image that that's what this is about. You don't even have to read the text. A really great place to go for inspiration is when you've written the ad copy, is to go, okay, so what is it that I'm looking for? And you can use Google Images to say, okay, so when I'm, somebody here is talking about their superpowers. I was like, okay, what images come forward? What images do people most think about when we're talking about superpower? So then it was like, oh, superhero. So then the image could be something around superhero, which works well. So Google will show you images that people that kind of reflect what people most commonly think about when you use certain words. So you can put in the words that are in your headline here, and it'll show you images that you may not have thought of that relate. And that's a good place just for inspiration. I'll have people ask me this a lot. What works best, images or video? And like earlier, how we said, don't go for the winner. You really want a combination of both. Images and video will do different things. And some people like watching videos, some people don't. So you'll reach more people if you use a combination of both in your advertising. When it comes to your images as well as your videos, there's really two big containers. Ones that are more organic and they look like they belong in the newsfeed. They don't look like an ad. And these tend to do very well. So these are not super polished images of any, in any way, shape, or form, but they are really intentionally used here. So this image here of the women, this is actually a winery promoting wine, but these are three women who built an algorithm to help people match their taste to the right wine. And it's just talking about, about these girls. But this is something you see in your newsfeed from a friend potentially, or a goofy picture like this. And here, this image, with arms up, being strong, reflects the opening sentence. So the opening sentence is, how strong is your email game? So it really aligns well with the hook. We also have things that are more stylized and designed, often things you would do in Canva. These work too. So you just need to see, some people will respond more to one than the other, but just try them out. So it's good to have a combination of both forms. And the same thing with videos. If you want to go ahead and try this $10 a day strategy, what do you do for that top video? You want to present something that might be your own story, a struggle that you went through and then got you to where you are today, something that makes your brand, your business unique and different, how you approach things, or one of your values. You could also teach something to people. It all depends on the business that you're in. Or social proof. This works really well. Testimonials, other people, if you can ask them if they've would provide you with a video testimonial, you can put those out. They draw people in and work very, very, very well. Here's an example. This is a testimonial. This is a company, a makeup company, Boom by Cindy Joseph. They do makeup for older women or mature women, and really are pro age, which is pretty cool. And they do a whole bunch of videos where it's just women who are showing, like who literally in the video put the makeup on and talk about how they use it. And you get to see the before and after as they put on their makeup. And those videos have been running for a really long time and are super effective. There's also teaching, being outside, being in places where there's movement behind you works well to have people engage and watch the videos longer. Here is a designed video. This was talking about advertising costs. And if you think of if you've ever seen the Walmart rollback, like the rollback where the prices keep rolling back, that's what happened in this video. So the price starts off higher and then it gets lower. Really engaging video. And if you don't like creating like being on video yourself, you can always take pictures and put together videos in Ads Manager that becomes more of a slideshow. So you can show your journey through a series of pictures, and that works well as well. How long should your video be? It doesn't really matter, but you want it to be at least 15 seconds because we're basing that video on people who, like, you're developing an audience based on people who watched at least 15 seconds of the video. You also want to pay really close attention to what's going on with the first video. That's what matters most. What is the cost per through play? We want that, as we talked about earlier, under 6 cents. And then if you have videos from your Facebook business page or Instagram that are already working really well and getting lots of engagements, lots of comments, likes, and shares, those videos are perfect as well for this. So it may not even mean creating new content. And this is one last cool thing that I really want to share with you. And if you go to the Facebook ads library as a business, you can see what other businesses are doing with their ads. So right now, I just clicked on that link, but if you go to Facebook or Meta, type in, it might be now Meta ad library, but Facebook ad library. Here we're looking in Canada ad category. We're going to pick all ads, and let's do hair designs when I was looking up the other day, just to see for examples. So here you can actually see all the ads that are being delivered in Canada that focus on hair design. If you know the name of a business, you can literally type the business in here and see what ads they have running. If you look at, let's look at this ad here. This ad started running February 2nd. So just today, we know it's being delivered on these different platforms and what's working well. To see examples of really good ads, you want to scroll down, because ads that have been running for a while are, people are only going to keep ads running, hopefully, if they are working well. So then you can go down here. So this one launched in November 3rd. So we can assume this ad was really effective. And here, what do they do? They start off with a testimonial and 5 stars, a picture of the product, and shop now. So it's a great place to go for ideas. You don't want to copy ads word for word, but it's a great place to look for businesses that are like yours, if you know who your competitors are, to check out what's going on and how other people are using this space. Now, that's really my presentation for today. And a little bit about me. If you are interested in finding out more about ads, getting started, I'm here to help. I offer coaching as well as courses. I help people with ad setup or reviewing. If you're working with an agency already and you want to do an ad account audit, maybe you don't think things are going quite as well as they could be for you, I'm happy to have a look at your account. And then at the higher end level, I offer done for you ad strategy and management services. And I'm going to put a little plug in. I have an upcoming course for people who want to get started in Facebook ads. I'm partnering with my mentor, Jody Millward. She is very well established in the field. She's a real leader and a really amazing educator. So we're working together on this course to offer it out to people to help just get started with Facebook ads. It's everything, walking through how you set up your ad account to launching your very first ads. And if you'd like to know more about that, you can just reach out to me on Facebook or send me an email at carol@carolroderick.ca. And I guess we can open up the floor now for questions.
Yeah, for sure. Carol, I put your email in the chat there. So if you wanted to get a hold of Carol, her email's in the chat. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions, or you can put them in the text chat.
Hi, I have a question. My name is Nectaria Bogdanis. I own a, soap company, although I make more bath bombs, and I make molds for other makers. My company name is Sophistication, but back when I only made like cosmetics and things like that, I I did an ad campaign and I got a ton of likes in my page, but never anything, like nobody went to my website, things like that. Is that about design, or is that like kind of, that was the first 30 days and I just should have followed up more to get to that next level? I'm just kind of curious of, I've seen a lot of people say, I've run ads, but all I get are likes. And to me, like, I don't care about likes, I care about conversions. So I'm curious your thoughts on that.
I'd have to, it's so nice to see you here, Victoria. I'd have to see what was going on really to take a closer look and to see how the campaign was set up. A lot of people initially might set up campaigns like more the Google style where you're going for like link clicks or that kind of thing. But to get conversions, you really need to make sure you're setting up the campaign with the objective of conversion. So there's different types of ads that you can run, and it would depend on what the objective for that ad is. So if you're getting likes, maybe it was set up as an engagement campaign. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you. I have more questions, but I'm going to let others ask questions just in case. I don't want to take it over, but if it's quiet for a bit, I'll ask my other questions. Thank you, Carol.
I have a question. Well, first I want to say thank you, Carol, because this was an amazing presentation. I've learned a lot, and there's a few light bulbs that lit in my brain. It seems like getting that cost, like a low cost for the through play is important. How long do you keep an ad for before you decide if it's performing or not?
You probably want at least 5,000 impressions, maybe even 10,000 impressions. So it sounds like you know what you're talking about with ads, because yeah, you've done ads before.
I've dabbled a bit.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you have a good number. Again, it depends on it's not going to take very long to get that. If you're running an engagement campaign, if you're running a conversion campaign where you're trying to get people to buy or sell or take a lead magnet, it could take you much longer or much more budget to do that. When I work with clients, on a monthly retainer where I'm done for you ad services, we usually, if it's a new client, we say the first month, we're going to do this. We're going to test a whole bunch of things. It's really important to know, like, more than half of what you try, so even, that I've been trained in doing this, isn't going to work. So 60% doesn't work. It takes a while, and you have to be willing to test and try new things out. But then when something does work, it tends to work really well.
Okay. And so before you kind of decide whether this ad is performing or this content is performing, you want to have, you said about 5,000 impressions to get a good gauge on the cost per through play.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Amazing.
Actually, Carol, so it's Nectaria again, just to follow up on that kind of line of questioning. How do you know if it's a bad video or bad copy or bad or not great content versus not the correct reach, your target market? You mentioned Lululemon versus Plenty of Fish. Like, how do I know I'm just not reaching the right people versus I need to change the content?
So you can test a couple of different audiences and see how the costs compare. You're looking at, so this is less for a video with that we were just talking about with an engagement campaign, but if you're running a campaign to get sales or for a lead magnet, you'd be running a conversion campaign. In that case, you're looking at click-through rates. So you want a click-through rate of at least 1.0. And what that means, very technical here, is of 1%. So if 100 people view your ad, at least one of them is clicking on it to find out more information. If it's below 1, then the ad should be probably swapped out. And it's not always clear whether it's an audience issue or it's a content issue. So it takes testing a couple of audiences and a couple of content pieces. But when you're doing, if you're testing even 2 audiences and 2 different ads, same ad copy to, say, for example, 2 different images, you'll see what resonates fairly quickly. I say 5,000 impressions, but sometimes you can tell right off the bat, you're just going to get low cost. It's going to be a high click-through rate. And you're like, okay, this is great. And other times you see the opposite and it just doesn't work at all.
Thank you.
Jennifer, your hand's up. Do you have a question?
I do.
Okay.
I finally remembered how to do the raise hand thing. So yes, I do have a question about running ads. Like I've tried a few times, but about doing like just something that's like lighthearted, just to kind of build that customer relationship, like just like a funny video or like whatever kind of is trending. Like, is that kind of a smart thing to do, or should it be more focused on, you know, those conversions or whatnot?
Can you tell me more about like a funny video? What are you thinking of here?
Okay, so I do have an idea about, I don't know, I saw this like TikTok where I just think it's like really funny, and I thought, well, you know, people that know kind of who I am, like it might be a good way to kind of build those relationships. Yeah, what is it like?
Sure.
Where are they like squatting? Like, I don't know if squatting is the right word, but I don't know.
And what about your, can you talk a little bit more about your business and how that fits with your business?
I guess it doesn't. It's just kind of something that's funny, and people know kind of my personality. So I thought, well, maybe that's just a fun way. Like I could be wearing new arrivals.
Okay.
So I guess that's the other piece of it, because I have this lounge collection that I've just released. So, you know, wearing that and doing those funny.
Yeah. So for something like that, what you might want to do is have a video like that go out to people as part of your retargeting strategy. So people who already know your business. So then you're bringing in people at the top of funnel who really are more connected to your brand and who want to be there. And then you're showing your personality and allowing people to get to know you, which is really important for developing that rapport and helping people want to buy from you, because we buy from people that we like.
Yeah.
But top of funnel, if it's just going to be funny and could attract people who are not interested in your business at all, that could be, you know, not the like attracting people who aren't interested in your business. And then you're going to expose them to other ads, which would then end up being a waste of money, right?
Right. Okay. You'll have to give it some more thought. I'm
Yeah.
excited about your course though, so that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Hi, Carol. Can I
Nicole.
ask a quick question? Could you speak a little bit more about when you feel somebody's ready to go down this path? I feel like I'm pretty clear on my niche, and I have happy customers, and my offer seems to be working. So any other thoughts?
That you have, I would say, the budget to do it. So many people need to start off running ads by themselves, and it takes some time. Like there's a learning curve. I wouldn't have, if I started ads because I was like, I can't afford to hire somebody to do ads for me. So I'm going to learn how to do this myself. How hard could it be? And it was a big learning curve, but, you know, I wouldn't be where I am now without it. So you make sure you have the time or the budget so that you can either learn ads yourself or you have enough budget to pay somebody else to do the ads for you. But if you have a proven offer, it sells, you've got customers' testimonials, you've worked out some of those glitches, it sounds like it would be a good time.
And do you have like an average, or for how many months you'd have to spend approximately X number of dollars?
I think it depends on what you're doing. And that would be something like, if you want to have a conversation at some point in time, I'm happy to talk with you and kind of develop and look at what a strategy might look like for you on that.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Carol.
Any other questions?
Carol, can you just like, what's the difference? I always see these boost your thing. Like, is the boost just kind of an add-on thing? Is it totally different than ads? I'm just curious if that's kind of part of the strategy or not.
And like, this is being recorded, right? These are a really good way for Facebook to make money because you don't have to know much in order to do them, because you can just do them right from your page. They're fine. Sometimes they can be really effective. If somebody wants to boost a post, and I will often do that, but I usually do it from within Ads Manager because you get far more control over what you're doing, who the ad gets delivered to, anybody you want to exclude from seeing the ad, and the stats and metrics that you get back on the other side is much better when you do it from Ads Manager than just from your page and boosting a post.
Thank you.
All right, is there any other questions? Okay, well, I just want to say thank you very much, Carol. I think you've got everybody very intrigued here, and that was a great, full of information. I've dropped the slides into the chat. If you happen not to get them or you can't access them, please let me know and I could send you the slides to you. I can email them to you. So I just wanted to say thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much, Carol, for presenting for us, and we look forward to having you maybe present again in the future. So thanks very much.
Thanks everybody for coming out. This has been fun.
Thank you.